Mr. Toastmaster, and thank you members today. So my name is Krista, and if you had asked me 5 years ago whether I would have been divorced, fired from my nursing job, running a successful coaching business, and traveling around the world, I would have said that you were crazy. But let me tell you a story about how things turned out a little bit differently than what I had imagined. So like I said, I'm a life coach and I'm a business owner, and I've coached hundreds of women over the past couple of years, anywhere from starting their own business to creating confidence and living healthier lives and having empowered relationships. And I like to say that life coaching is the gateway drug for so many new opportunities out there, and that's actually why I'm here today. Coaching gave me the opportunity to write my own book, and it's about my life story, and I'm hoping that that results in speaking engagements. And I think Toastmasters will help with that. But let's rewind and talk about how I got here, why I hired my first life coach, and the 7 words that she told me that gave me my power back after I thought I had lost everything. So I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, and my parents were divorced by the time that I was 2 years old. And I had the traditional good girl upbringing. I never got in trouble. I got straight A's in school. I was the homecoming queen in high school. And I went to the University of Missouri and got a nursing degree because my mom was a nurse. And that's where I met my husband. And he was training to be a military nurse. So everything sounds perfect so far, right? I was following a very clear-cut life plan, except there was lots of warning signs under the surface that I chose to ignore because it wasn't part of the plan. Like I said, my husband was in the military, and our first duty station was in Honolulu, Hawaii. We got to live there for 3 years, and this is where I trained to become a labor and delivery nurse. And then at the end of our time, we got married on Lanikai Beach. It was beautiful. And our next duty station was in Seattle, Washington. And during that time is when we started talking about traveling around the world. And this is something that I thought it was a little bit weird, but apparently in the military, this is what people do. They talk about just taking a couple years off and traveling around the world. But my husband and I, neither of us were happy being nurses. And so this was our opportunity to, when we went traveling, to quit our nursing careers and think about what could be next. And deep down inside, I had a feeling I was meant to be an entrepreneur. Both of my parents were entrepreneurs as well. But who here has worked with a personal coach before? Raise your hand. Bill has? Or a life coach? Anyone? Okay, great. I get to tell you all about it today. So I hired a life coach myself, actually. I didn't really know what the term was when I hired her, but I just knew she was going to be able to help me start a side hustle. And the side hustle that I created with her was I was a pregnancy coach. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I went for it anyways. And this is the first time in my life that I really felt fulfilled. I was happy. And it gave me a clear-cut exit plan for my nursing career, and it was going to allow me to be a digital nomad to where I could work online and make money while I was traveling. However, there was a lot of problems in my marriage, and we started seeing a therapist, and I just had a feeling that divorce was on the horizon. And also my nursing job was getting more and more stressful for me. And I just had this feeling that something bad was going to happen. I don't know how else to explain it. And then something bad did happen. In February 2016, I got an eviction notice for my white picket fence life. And the beginning of the month, we started filing for divorce paperwork. And then a few days later, I got fired from a little mistake that I made, just all the stress going on. And I quit my pregnancy coaching business as well because it was too traumatic after losing my job. So thankfully, I was working with my life coach at this time, and she asked me 7 words that completely changed my life and gave me my power back. And she said, "What do you want to do now?" Such a simple question. What do you want to do now? That was the first time that anyone had ever asked me something like that, and gave me a choice. So what I ended up telling her was I wanted to go travel around the world by myself, and that's what I did. And I went to over 36 countries in 2 years. And I decided to also become a life coach and start my own business while I was doing that. So if you had asked me 5 years ago what my life would have looked like today, divorced, fired, running a life coaching business and traveling, I, again, would have said that you were crazy. But now it's the only life that I could ever imagine living. Thank you.